The next stage is to understand the sky, because humans' relationship with the sky is far old and far deeper. We have been looking into the sky for centuries. We even have names for those who like the sky. For example, we named someone a neophile who likes the sky and its clouds. We labeled someone as a serenophile who loves lightning and thunderstorms. Whoever likes the sky and its rain, we named him pluviophile. Whoever likes the sky and its stars, we called him an astrophile. And whoever loved the sky and its moon, has been called a selenophile. But the question is, what exactly the sky is? Before I tell you further, I would like to share an experience with you. Before I wrote this chapter, I interviewed 20 people that, what is the sky in your opinion? Someone answered that the blue thing we see above is the sky. And someone answered that, somewhere far above there must be a white shield which would presumably be called sky. Someone answered that the clouds are probably the sky. To be honest, there were so many interesting answers. Let's take a look at the science, that what is sky according to science. The blue thing is actually just the atmosphere. And it is blue because, when sunlight enters our atmosphere, the sunlight is made up of 7 colors, then the blue color is separated from all the other colors because of the gases present in our atmosphere. Because the wavelength of the blue color is the shortest of all the other colors, and in the evening the blue disappears and the red takes over, because then the sun is closer to the horizon. And the atmosphere between us and the sun is almost 38% denser than the normal atmosphere in the sky. But how far above this atmosphere? The science does answer this question, that 6.5 miles above, you will find the atmospheric layer called troposphere, and almost all the climate of our Earth is present in this layer of atmosphere. Clouds, rain, storms, all the life in the world lives inside this layer. Even the farthest looking clouds are actually inside this layer. But what is above that? Above that, there is a 31 miles thick layer which is called the stratosphere. Surely you must have heard of the ozone layer, which protects the planet from the harmful rays of the sun. Some commercial flights fly in the lower regions of this layer and some spy jets fly in the middle region of this layer. But what is above that? Above that, there is a 53 miles thick layer called mesosphere. Life is not possible for humans there. Because the temperature can be -90 degrees centigrade and there is almost no air or oxygen. When meteorites enter this layer, they start burning. The meteorites, the mysterious stones, about which I will tell you in the 10th chapter of this series. But what is above that? Above that, there is another 300 miles thick layer which is called the thermosphere. This is the place where most of our satellites are rotating around the planet, and this is the place where the most beautiful dark green lights are born, which are called the aurora lights. One of the most beautiful night shows on our planet, and my favorite, the aurora lights. What is above them? Above that, there is an imaginary boundary of our planet called the Kármán line. Because after this, the greatest expansions of empty space begin to spread out trillions and trillions of miles into deep space, so far into space, that the light from GN-Z11 must take 14 billion years to reach us. But where was the sky during all this? And what is above that? Science cannot help us above that. Because those places are out of the realms of knowledge of science. What mysteries lie in there? Where will we see the sky? How must the sky look like, and what is above the sky? For that, now the source of our knowledge is Quran and Hadith. Quran speaks about the descending of water at least 22 times as, I descended the water from the sky. But the watery clouds are just at the elevation of 2 kilometers. So we need to find more clues about the sky in the Quran. At least 3 times, Quran speaks about the sky as a safe roof. At least twice it is mentioned that this safe roof is also secured, so that it does not fall. At this point, it starts to seem as if the sky is protecting us from something, and also as if it too has been secured from something. Does that mean that the sky might be the name for ozone or any other similar protecting layer? Perhaps, still the clues are not enough. So we must study Quran deeper for a better understanding of the sky. Surah Tariq verse 11 speaks about a strange property of the sky, that it returns over and over again. Now whoever is aware of climatology, the study of the climates, they are aware that there are only 4 seasons: winter, summer, autumn and spring. But the climate is actually of 12 types, which are influenced directly by the atmosphere in the sky, which is returned from the sky over and over again to the earth. For example, rain, fog, precipitation, snowfall, storm, and winds. All of them return to earth over and over again, influenced directly by the sky and the atmosphere in the sky. At least 3 times it is so mentioned that the sun, the stars, and the moon are also in the sky. Twice, it speaks about the decorating stars, that they too are in the sky. And thrice, it speaks about the pillars that are in the sky. For example, the 16th verse of the Surah Hijr says that the beautiful pillars are placed in the sky for those who see. Exactly which pillars those might be? A picture was taken in 1995, that was called one of the 10 most beautiful pictures ever taken. It was such a beautiful picture, that it was photographed many more times afterwards. 3 towering pillars, which were in fact exactly called the pillars of creation, have been a source of beauty, comfort and admiration for those who are watching. At this point, it becomes crystal clear that the sky is a great expansion upwards beside the sun, the moon and the stars. Quran gives us more properties of the sky. For example, burning flames that chase and catch such mysterious stars which eat entire galaxies without leaving a trace. In fact, in Quran I even found references to such stars that can have a tail about 6 million miles coming behind it. But all of it will be at its right time. First we must continue our journey upwards in the sky. Such wonderful creations, the pillars, sun, and stars cannot be only just in the Milky Way. Stars in fact are there in the other galaxies. Our own galaxy Milky Way contains about 400 billion stars and our Sun is just one of them. Our neighboring galaxy, Andromeda, contains 2.5 times more stars than our Milky Way. That means more than 1 trillion stars, and there are some 2 trillion galaxies out there, just like Milky Way and Andromeda. Is it all in the sky? Where is the highest limit? Further research in Quran guided me to at least 4 places, where it speaks about the expansion and the highest limits of the sky, and 2 of them are crystal clear. For example, Surah Al-Ghashiyah. Do they not see how the sky has been elevated? Or Surah Al-Dariyat. I have created the sky with my own hands, and I am the one who expanded. Looking at all these clues, finally start to build an understanding in front of us, that the expansions of the sky start actually just above us, and its expansion goes much high. But, is there any limit to this great expansion? The answer is yes, there is a limit to this great expansion. A boundary which is mentioned in fact in Surah Al-Nazi'at. Is the sky more difficult to create or you? And Allah is the one who created it and elevated to its samak. Here, samak means the outer boundary. And the second verse is a very mighty one, which also carries a challenge in it. Surah Al-Rahman. O jinn and humans! If you have the authority to leave the boundaries of sky and earth, then leave. Without power you cannot leave. Flames of fire and smoke shall be released upon you and you will not be able to protect yourself. Do you get the point? Somewhere there must come a place, where there will be a samak of the sky. Meaning an outer layer of the sky, where upon reaching, there shall be released flames and smoke. And perhaps that place is the boundary of the expansion of the sky of our world. The outer surface of the sky, the limit of the sky, and the expansion of the sky starts from just above us, from our atmosphere, and goes all the way up above until its samak, its outer layer. This is the reason why water is descending down from this sky. This is the reason why the sun, the moon, and the stars are floating in this sky. This is the sky, which is decorated with stars. The sky is actually a huge expansion, starting just above our heads, expanding trillions and trillions of miles upwards, which finally has a boundary somewhere far above. But before I tell you about that, I want to tell you some of the things during my research work on Quran. On 4 points, I observed the design of the sky. On 6 points, I observed clues about creatures in the sky. On 3 points, I observed the rizq or sustenance descending down from the sky. On 6 points, I observed the doors and pathways of the sky. On 2 points, I observed the emotions of the sky. On 2 points, I observed the giants and demons traveling in the sky. On 3 points, I observed the places that ascend and descend in the sky. On 16 points, I observed the destiny of the sky and what will eventually happen to it. And on 5 points, I observed Allah, the creator of everything, swearing upon the sky, one of his greatest creations. And on 7 places in Quran, I observed the number of skies that they too are 7. On time, I will share all of these things with you, one by one. For example, the creatures who live in the sky, the things that ascend and descend into the sky, the doorways and pathways of the sky, or what will finally happen to the sky. But from here on, I will tell you about those 7 skies. It has become very clear now, that up to this point, reaching through science would have been impossible. So through the Quran and Hadith, I explored more about the composition of the skies. And now, I will tell you what lies beyond the Karman line. The last frontier of mankind reaches the last boundary of this great expansion, which starts from above us, is the first sky, which is the sky of the earth. It is made out of the water, and it is called Rakia, and probably because of this water, smoke will be released to anyone who dares to reach it, according to Surah Rahman. And according to Hadith of Miraj, this is the sky where Adam and Eve are living now. And according to some traditions, this was the sky where the Holy Prophet Muhammad saw an angel, called Habib, built half with fire and half with ice. Above it, there is the second sky made of white pearls, it is called Erika Lune. Prophet Isa ibn Maryam, identified in English as Jesus, and Yahya ibn Zachariah, identified in English as John the Baptist, are living there. Above that, there is the third sky, which is called Kadum, and is made of pure iron, and according to some traditions, Prophet Yusuf or Joseph and Hazrat Israel, the angel of death, lives here. Above that, there is the fourth sky, which is made of pure brass, and is called Ma'una. It is where Prophet Idris lives, and there lives an angel called Kisfa-el, who is the angel of tears. Above that, there is the fifth sky, which is called Rika, and made out of pure silver. Prophet Harun ibn Imran, or Aaron, lives there. And that is where the custodian of hell, Malik, lives, Malik, who commands some of the most mysterious angels, who are mentioned in Surah Al-Alaq, referred with the name of Zbaniyah, but the details about angels will come up in the second chapter of this series. Above that, there is the sixth sky, which is called Dakna. It is made out of pure gold and pure stones of red color, where Aaron's brother, Prophet Musa ibn Imran or Moses, lives. But before I tell you further, I wish you to imagine just for a second a sky made of pure gold and red rubies. Surah Al-Najm speaks of a great tree there, whose roots are there in the sixth sky, and its branches reach high up in the seventh sky. The tree is called Sidrat al-Muntaha, which means lot tree of the farthest boundary. It is a berry tree whose leaves are large and its fruit is like large pots, and beetles made of pure gold are flying around this tree. And the Holy Prophet Muhammad reports that, on the night of Ascension, when this tree was covered with the order of Allah, the color of that tree changed in a way that I never even knew those colors before. No living being of the world can describe how beautiful those colors are. And then there is the seventh sky, which is called Ariba, which is also known by the people of the book as Araboth. This is the sky where the Prophet Ibrahim or Abraham lives. It is made of such light which humans cannot understand. The branches of Lot tree can only reach up to this place. Whatever goes from below is stopped here, and whatever comes from above is received from here. But what is above that? From this moment onwards, I will be very careful, and I request you to listen very carefully. Above that, there is the throne of God, which is carried by 8 great angels. This throne is made of red ruby, and there is a great chair above the throne. And this is the limit of all the knowledge that was ever there of anyone, including mankind. Above that, there is the Lord of the throne, Allah, the Lord of everything, my Creator, your Creator, the Lord of whatever I have written or spoken. And writing about above the throne, I feel a certain kind of fear. There is a place on the right side of the throne, where everything is written, known as Lawh Mahfuz. Allah has made it with the pure white pearls, its pages are made of red rubies, and its writing is written with light. This is where everything is written, about everything that was ever there, and about everything that there will ever be, and whatever Allah wills, is written in it. Its base is made of pure white stone, and it is placed in the lap of an angel. Allah, the Lord of everything, looks at it 360 times in a day. The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, reports that the 7 skies compared to the throne are like a ring in a huge desert. And the throne compared to the great chair is like a ring in a huge desert. Just pause for a second and imagine what you just heard. Can your brain truly understand these great expansions? Can I truly explain these greatnesses to you? Perhaps never. It was never meant for any creation to fully understand these things. Do you remember me saying in the very beginning that nearly all the cultures in the world speak of a mighty force creating everything and speaking some words? But no culture could tell what words were those. Even theoretical physics has a theory that, before creation, many universes were floating among many forces. For example, the force of gravity. And after every few trillion years, these universes collide with each other, resulting in a massive bang. The Big Bang is the reason for this collision, might either be an unimaginably powerful force of gravity, or according to this theory a force which is unknown to us. I don't know what you make of these last words. But when I was writing these words in this chapter, I actually smiled, because in Quran, I found this unimaginably mighty great force, mentioned at least 7 times as, when I wish something to be, I order it be. And so, it becomes. The most unimaginable and most powerful force that ever existed, for the force of Kun Fayakun, the Word of God, for this universe. And the mysteries hidden in it have always been one of the biggest questions of mankind. Imran bin Hussein once visited the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and tied his camel on the front of the door. Imran also saw some of the people from Yemen also visiting the Prophet, and he heard them saying, "O Prophet of Allah, we have come to know from you that how this universe came into being." Prophet started to tell them how Allah had always been there, he was all alone. And his throne was placed above the water, he wrote everything in the Lawh Mahfuz, and created the skies and the earths. The Prophet was still telling, but someone shouted to Imran, that, "Imran, your camel has broken off," and ran away. As Imran heard of this, he too ran after the camel, and he saw that the camel has reached far into the desert. And later Imran was heard saying that, "I swear by God, I wish I had let that camel escape, but had heard what the Prophet was telling. If I am honest, I too wish that the camel had not broken off that day." And Imran bin Hussein would have reported to us what the Holy Prophet had told that day. Allah knows how many secrets would have been uncovered by the Holy Prophet that day. Exactly the way how the Holy Prophet Muhammad reported about Prophet Musa's meeting with that mysterious personality, and his inability to be patient during their trip. And said, "May Allah has mercy upon Musa, if he just had been patient, Allah would have revealed many more of those mysteries to us." This chapter was just the beginning of the knowledge of this universe. But the next chapters of this series have much more, where we will take guidance from the Quran, Hadith, and modern scientific knowledge, to uncover the mysteries of the universe. May Allah bless you.